Sometimes the most passionate debates come from the most unexpected places. Today, we're going to dive into a surprisingly intense controversy in the running community. And believe it or not, it's all about one single piece of clothing, the finisher's shirt. And really, the whole thing boils down to this one kind of provocative ethical question. At what point does a piece of clothing stop being just a souvenir and start being, well, a lie? All right, so where did all this even come from? Well, this whole conversation pretty much exploded back in February of 2026. That's when the popular website Runner's World published an opinion piece that, let's just say, really struck a nerve. And yep, there's the title that got everybody fired up. The argument was basically that runners should be allowed to wear the shirt even if they didn't actually cross the finish line. The thinking was, hey, you put in all that work training, so that should be enough to justify it. Well, as you can probably imagine, that idea did not sit well with everyone. Enter running coach Adolfo Salgueiro. He read that article and felt it was so fundamentally wrong, he knew he had to write a direct and pretty powerful rebuttal. Salgueiro did not mince words, that's for sure. His response was titled as a direct takedown of the original, immediately setting up this clear conflict of ideas. For him, there was absolutely no gray area on this. And this quote right here really gets to the core of his argument. Look, he admits it's a personal choice, it's between you and your conscience, but he's also crystal clear. In his book, wearing a finisher's shirt for a race you didn't actually finish is a lie. Plain and simple. And to really hammer this point home, Salgueiro doesn't just leave it at his opinion. He uses some really powerful analogies to frame this as a much bigger issue. An issue of representing achievements you haven't actually, achieved. He kicks it off with this great question. Imagine you inherited an Olympic medal from a relative. Would you actually wear it around your neck? I mean, you'd probably display it, be super proud of it, but wearing it implies that you won it, and that achievement simply isn't yours.
Then he takes it a step further, drawing a parallel to things like wearing a military uniform or a doctor's scrubs. Now, he's very careful to say he is not equating running a marathon with serving in the military. That's not the point. He's highlighting the common principle at play here.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that certain clothes, certain items, they carry meaning and they create assumptions. A finisher shirt makes people assume you finished the race. And for Salgueiro, letting that untrue assumption stand is just wrong. And this leads us to the real linchpin of his whole argument. He makes a crucial distinction that he believes the original article completely ignored. Not all race shirts are created equal. He breaks it down into two really simple categories. On one hand, you have your souvenir shirt, something you buy at the race expo, a hat, a general race tee. It's a memento. It shows you were there, that you support the race. Anyone can wear that. But then you have the finisher shirt. And that word, finisher, it means something. It means completion. It's an earned achievement. And he is very, very specific about this definition. A finisher shirt is earned at one specific moment and one moment only, when you cross that finish line. It's not earned when you register, it's not earned when your friend crosses the line, and it's definitely not earned when you buy it. The key word here is earned. But Salgueiro's critique doesn't actually stop with the writer's opinion. Oh no, he takes aim at the publication that gave it a platform in the first place, outlining what he calls his twofold beef with Runner's World itself. So first, he questions their editorial judgment. He's basically asking why a respected running publication would even give a platform to an opinion that he considers unsound for the community. And second, he argues the entire premise of the original article is just flawed from the start because it fundamentally misunderstands what a finisher shirt even represents. And this brings us to the final, really personal takeaway from Salgueiro's argument. He does something pretty clever here. He takes the original article's closing statement and flips it right back around to make his ultimate point. And what's so interesting is that he actually agrees with this idea. He says, yes, absolutely, what you wear should reflect what matters to you. But for him, that's the whole point. If integrity, honesty, and earned achievements are what matter to you, well, then you wouldn't wear a shirt for a race you didn't finish. So we're left with this final, really thought-provoking question. It takes the debate way beyond just running and asks all of us to think about the meaning we attach to the things we wear. If your clothes are a reflection of your values, your achievements, and what truly matters, what story are they telling?